So Tony Stark is one of the most popular characters in the entire MCU, and Robert Downey Jr. plays him absolutely perfectly. But one of the biggest and most detrimental thing is the Iron Man suits, which what makes Iron Man is definitely the Iron Man suits. And today we're going to go over every single Iron Man suit that is prominently shown in the entire MCU and see if they're fantastic, good, or bad. And then I'll put them on this chart where I have those categories: fantastic, good, or bad. Now, for the record, I'm not going to count the Iron Man suits from the ending of Iron Man 3, where all the suits come to glide, because that's just too many. And secondly, I'm not going to really name the suits, because I might name some of the suits when I actually know the name, but there's just so many different names of all the Iron Man suits, so let's try not to. And of course, spoilers for the entire MCU. I'm probably not going to spoil much, but just in case, so if I don't have to keep saying spoilers. So, of course, spoilers for the entire MCU. You've been warned. Okay, let's start off with the first Iron Man. So the first Iron Man actually has 3 Iron Man suits. First of all, the Mark 1. And yes, I know I said I wouldn't say the names, but the names I do know of the suits, I will definitely say. So the Mark 1 is the more broken one that he makes in the cave of the end of, like, I guess the first act of the first Iron Man suit. Now I gotta say, this one, back when I was a kid, this was actually one of my least favorite suits, because I'm like, it can't fly, it can't do all the cool stuff. But really looking at the suit, and it's a very cool design for the suit, by the way. It's a very cool looking suit. And the visual effects on this thing is absolutely amazing. Nothing on this film absolutely looks fake, and everything looks real. The abilities that it has, and this suit, why it doesn't have like plasma blasters or lasers, it's pretty violent. It has machine guns, it has a missile, I think, but it also has a flamethrower just to burn your enemies. It's a pretty interesting suit, and it's all around not really that of a flashy suit, but it's still definitely a good suit. And I'm going to put this in the good category, because it's not a horrible suit, but it's not very a fantastic suit either. Okay, moving on to the silver suit from the first Iron Man, which I'm assuming is the Mark II. I know we're talking about the suit and the suit alone, but I just gotta mention the scene where he first learns how to fly. It's such an awesome moment. It's kind of like when you ride a bike. I know that's kind of a weird analogy. You practice so hard and hard and hard until you finally get it. The feeling of finally learning how to ride a bike is a pretty awesome feeling, and it kind of reminds me of that, only flying. I know those are 2 different analogies. I was just trying to make an analogy that somebody can actually relate to, because I don't think anyone can relate to actually flying. I don't really know. I haven't been, but the suit itself, I think, is really cool. The visual effects, again, I keep talking about the visual effects, are fantastic. But now let's talk about the main suit, the red. The silver suit. I'm probably gonna put in the fantastic category. It's a really good suit. Okay, moving on to the last suit he gets in the film, and that's kind of like the main classic red and gold suit. Fantastic suit. I'm putting this in the fantastic category because it's truly fantastic of what it does. It's a truly amazing suit. It has fun functionals, and the sequence where he just goes and gets revenge on the terrorist, one of the best sequence ever. And then the scene where he blows up the tank. So cool. The fantastic category. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. First, suitcase armor is definitely going in the fantastic. Just the way it looks, the visual effects is fantastic. First off, with the fantastic category. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. First off, this suitcase armor is definitely going in the fantastic. Just the way it looks, the visual effects is fantastic, and the way it sounds. Just listen to this. That's so cool. The way it sounds and moves, it's just absolutely fantastic. And the whole highway fight sequence is great. So it's definitely going in the fantastic category. The other suit, man. Next up, we have the suit from Avengers. This is kind of the same from the first Iron Man and second Iron Man, but it's kind of a combination. This suit is definitely going in the fantastic. I remember the scene where he jumps out of Stark Tower, then the suit combines him, and then he flies up back into the sky of New York City. That was the first time I saw that in the cinema. Was watching this film. I was absolutely mind blown. Just the funness of the suit and just how much he kind of uses it, and just the technology and the visual effects. Definitely, that's why it's going in the fantastic category. Next up, we have the Mark 43 from Iron Man 3. Now, Iron Man 3, I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion, is my favorite Iron Man film. And this suit, the Mark 43, spoilers, I guess, for this video, is my favorite Iron Man suit. So yeah, this suit is definitely going in the fantastic category. Some people complain that it doesn't really work most of the film, but once he gets it to work, it's such a fun suit. The plane sequence, especially when he has to catch everyone, one of my personally favorite suits in the sequences in the entire MCU. The suits, the visual effects, the way he can just combine it, such an amazing suit, and the scene where he's tied up and then the suit kind of flies back to him, so awesome. And then also the scene where he's trying to figure out how to connect these sequences, really a funny sequence. So overall, this is one of the better suits and my personal favorite suit. Next up, we have Avengers Age of Ultron. This suit is going to go in the good camp, but kind of between, almost categories, because it's sometimes a bit too CGI. Like, most of the time, it looks fantastic. That's why it's kind of in the middle of fantastic, but most of the time, at times it just looks a bit too CGI, and sometimes I can't. Sometimes it's just too CGI and not really that focused enough, so that's why it's going there. Next up, we have Captain America Civil War. This suit's going to go in the good section, close to the bad section. I'm not going to put it in the bad section. At times, it's really cool, the design, but really, the visual effects, from now point, the visual effects of the Iron Man suits just look a tad bit fake, and also the CGI when Robert Downey Jr.'s head's poking out of the Iron Man suit looks extremely bad. Also, the sound design of the suit isn't that great. It's not a horrible suit, but definitely not the best one. Next up, we have Avengers Infinity War. This suit's going to go in the bad category. This is definitely my least favorite Iron Man suit. Now, some people complain when some people say they don't like the suit. They're saying, oh, you just don't like how he has all the equipment. When he gets nanotech, I think that's a great thing. That seems like something Tony Stark would do. The scene where he's suiting up is a pretty cool sequence until the effect for the mask is actually a pretty bad effect. I don't really know how that slipped in, but it's also a pretty bad effect and not really that interesting as an effect itself. And also, the suit just feels very CGI. I don't know what is with the Russo's Iron Man suits. They just don't really feel that real or lived in. They just kind of feel in the first Iron Man film, and the Iron Man through Iron Man all the way up to, I guess, Age of Ultron, they felt real, they felt heavy, they felt like they had some weight to them. These suits just kind of feel kind of flimsy, so that's why it's going in the bad category. Next up, we have the suit from Avengers Endgame. I'm going to put this in the good section, because while it's still sometimes a bit too CGI, I think it's much more simple enough to kind of work as a suit itself. Sometimes it's a bit too CGI, but it's still really cool. And lastly, we have the suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm going to put this in the good category. It's still a good suit, but you can't really design much. So now time for the ruling. My favorite Iron Man suit and my least favorite. Well, my favorite Iron Man suit is the Mark 43 from Iron Man 3. I just love the way it looks, the design, and has one of the better sequences of all in the entire MCU. And my least favorite is the one from Infinity War. It's just far too CGI. So those are my thoughts on every single Iron Man suit. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. You guys can also hit that subscribe button and like the video if you guys enjoy the video. You guys can also check out my Instagram. I do every other Tuesday with a friend of mine. It's called the 2 Peas in a Pod podcast. You guys can also check out my Instagram at General_Daniel77. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. General out.